We mentioned Darius Garland and a second-round pick to the Clippers for James Harden. Charles Barkley talking about what the Harden trade means and the combo of Donovan Mitchell and Harden together.
This is going to make the East very, very interesting. I think it's worth the risk. I think it's worth the risk. And, man, congratulations to the Cavs.
Chuck, what can we expect from the combination now of Donovan Mitchell and James Harden?
Well, you probably got two of the best one-on-one basketball players in the world. To get James Harden, and listen, I'm not going to disparage Darius, but they didn't give up a lot to get him. And Darius has not been the same in the last, really, not just this year, the last few years.
Yeah.
But James is a better player.
Let's welcome in Sam Amico from hoopswire.com as well as Full Court Cleveland. Sam, just your thoughts on Harden and what he can mean. They're going to have to play a little different. The style of play is going to be a little different.
Yeah, it'll be a little different. Clearly James Harden has had a legendary career to this point. And I think, after this trade sat for a little bit, I was kind of like, yeah, this is what you need to do. They needed a jolt. This is not the same team that won 64 games. Darius Garland had the toe injury, then he had off-season surgery on it. He came back, and it looked like it wasn't ready yet. And then all of a sudden, he sprains the other toe. So when he was on the floor in those games, the Cavs were outscored. Now, that's not a huge thing. That's not all Darius Garland's fault, but that is a, analytic note is they were outscored when he was on the floor. They were 13-13 with him in the lineup, 17-8 without him. The defense seemed to slip. His three-point shooting wasn't as good in the games he did play. So I agree with Charles Barkley in the sense that, yeah, they got a steal. Now, you're right, Dave. They're going to have to play a little bit different. If you look at how Harden played with the Houston Rockets when Chris Paul was there, and Chris Paul is younger and more effective, they managed that. You have two guys who were handling the ball a lot, and it worked for the most part. I mean, they got to Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. So I think that's there. Harden, the interesting thing with him is when he first got to the Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they didn't need him to score as much as he normally does, and he took a big step back. His passing is a very, very underrated part of his game. He took a big step back scoring-wise. If you remember, when he first got to LA, he was averaging like 16, 18 a game, but like 11 or 12 assists. So he has that kind of flexibility and versatility offensively where he will set other guys up. He does a really, really good job of setting up others, and that's a very underrated part of his game. So I think that it will be a little bit different in terms of the offense and how that's run, but it's not going to be huge because Harden has showed in the past that he is a willing passer and willing to adapt.